It is the 28th of June, and today is a very, very happy day for me because I'm getting something back that I have really missed. My MGF is finally home. I've missed this car so much, and I missed really what it stands for. I missed the whole open top British weather thing that this is, where you just take the opportunity to go outside and drive somewhere outside rather than just being inside with a aircon, or even worse, no aircon and windows that don't work. Last year, when I MOT'd this car, I drove it for a month, and then I did the sensible thing and put it in here, because actually it turned out it just pissed it down all that month. But then the following month, I had a friend who was desperately in need of a car, so I said, well, just take this one. And but I wasn't really expecting it would be gone for so long. As there is still a couple of days left of the month, I'm going to make use of the tax that's left on it. But first I'm going to check the fluids and stuff and make sure they're okay, and give it a vacuum, because there's a few bits of stuff that's kind of ended up on the floor that might be going just a bit mouldy. So let's sort that out now. Just give it a quick spruce up on the inside to get rid of the mouldy bits. It wants doing properly. I need to actually take the seats out and clean the carpet properly. It's looking a bit sorry for itself, really, but the worst bit is actually that. Yeah, I think that's what you call some damage, don't you? Oh, squeaky pedal. It's a bit tatty. It's kind of come back a bit battle scarred, and the MOT is actually short now, rather than when I first lent it, it had nearly a year on it. And there's also a good possibility it might struggle to get through its next MOT, because there seems to be quite a lot of rot going on. I don't know why that's squeaking so much. But at the moment, I kind of don't really care, so long as it still drives the same. There's something a bit... Jesus. Ugh. No, it doesn't. There's something really odd with this. The steering's kind of wobbling around all over the place. Bollocks. Will it go away with a bit more speed? Yeah, there's something odd going on there. That is a major disappointment, unfortunately. One of the things about last year, when I first had this car and I discovered the ultimate joy of motoring in an MGF as my own car, I'm struggling to talk properly because I'm just really baffled as to why it's not driving like it used to do. It's just the steering's all over the place, because it's one at a time in this car as passengers, of course. And so I took each of my twin girls out, overblacked an edge in it, and they absolutely loved it. They loved the experience of hair blowing about everywhere and the sounds, and just that it's something you cannot get from a car with a roof on it. And you don't need loads of speed or anything like that for it to be absolutely wonderful. I took a couple of pictures of them whilst we're driving, because they just look so enthralled by the experience. And that's been part of what's made me miss this car so much, is just giving them more of that happiness, you know, because that's what they had. It's real happiness, and so did I. But and my plan today was to go home now, pick them up in turn, and take them for a drive. But now I don't think I can. Just seems to depend on what speed you're going at though. So it could be something as simple as a wheel that's gone out of balance, maybe a weight's come off, maybe because the tyres are all pretty badly worn out now, or it could be something damage wise in the suspension, or maybe I'm just not feeling it like I used to do, because it is very much like igniting an old flame, and so you're anticipating it feeling really wonderful. And because of the old rose tinted spectacles thingy, where we only remember the good things, we forget about all the bad things, it could be an element of that this relationship that I had with Alison wasn't quite as nice as I thought. I mean, why else would I be happy to just let another man take her away? But I don't ever remember feeling disappointed with this car. I'm going to have to come back to this one later. Quick dash up to Senior Mustard, because it's closer than going to work, so I could jack this up to have a quick look underneath. And yeah, stuff's gone wrong. Bottom ball joint and the track rod end. Quite a lot of play in the track rod end. I mean, like that much, you know. There's no wonder I set off and thought, this doesn't really feel right. It doesn't feel too bad once you're going along at a bit more speed, but you don't really want to be going along at any kind of speed if there's any possibility of that popping out and you're losing all your steering. It's one of the reasons why, as I drive along, I'm weaving around all over the place trying to avoid the bumps and potholes in the road everywhere that can really make that kind of thing a lot worse. So unfortunately, with that in mind, this car's going to go straight off the road until I can sort that out. As long as I can sort that out and do an oil change on it before the MOT runs out, then I can enjoy it for a bit, because it's going to need some more stuff for its MOT. Corrosion coming through, it's going to need some tyres, it's going to need probably a whole host of other things that I haven't even noticed. And what about the subframes? Could well and truly end up with those being a problem now. They were okay last year, I know that because I had a good look at them, but it's had a whole winter in use. What was going to be the highlight of the month, possibly the highlight of the past 6 months, has gone completely the wrong way round. This is an even bigger disappointment than Susie Sunshine. As you can hear, the exhaust is blowing as well. Thinking retrospectively, this car was probably already on its last MOT. But I'm saying that because of the amount of potential corrosion. I think one of the reasons why so many MGFs still survive is because they live inside, don't they? So they spend all winter inside, not rotting away. I'm feeling quite a bit more positive about it today. Yesterday, if I'm honest, it was a bit like rekindling the relationship with your wife after she's gone off with another man for 8 months, and then she's come back with a tattoo across her chest saying, "These tits belong to Barry." Realistically, it would make more sense to just break it for its good bits and then look out for one that isn't knackered. But besides having a couple of really enjoyable test drives in Fs and TFs before that, this is my first and only F. And it's one of the few cars that actually meant something proper to me, just like Nigel does. I've had plenty of cars like this one that I really do like, and as nice as I find them to be, but that proper deep connection isn't really there. And so I'm thinking it's going to need some more welding now. It might have some subframe issues, which I shall actually tackle as a first thing, because that's going to be the most important bit. It's going to need a cam belt change, it's going to need an oil change. It's done about 8,000 miles whilst it was out, and it was due an oil change then. It is going to need more spending on it than what it's actually worth. But I don't want to sell it. So I'm thinking I would quite like to just get around to doing all of the work it needs, even if it does take ages, so that at least next year I can have it back on the road. During the winter it'll be kept inside, so it won't be getting wet or getting problems, and I just want a really positive finish to this. It's never going to be a show winner, but I don't care. It's my rusty old MGF, and I'd rather have that in decent working mechanical order than a really precious one. So it might be a little while before we have an update on this particular car, but I'm not going to give up on it. So thanks for watching, and thanks for subscribing, and thanks for being a generous channel member, and thanks for liking the video and commenting and anything else that you might have done. Bye for now. Well then, just had the car on the ramps at the MOT place next door, and there's quite a few things that need sorting out. 3 tyres. It needs the wheel bearing on this track rod end, bottom ball joints and upper ball joints on this corner, bottom ball joints and upper ball joints on this corner. The 2 patches of welding that I did on this car last year have held up okay, but it is going through in a couple of other places. Both subframes are quite crusty, but I think they're salvageable, because last year they looked perfectly okay. It's just I mean, you can ruin something like a subframe in one winter, so it might just have survived it. The exhaust is blowing a bit from somewhere. Not really too worried about that either. I can hear you already shouting, don't bother. It's just not really going to be worthwhile, all the effort to sort this car out, when it's not even going to be worth anything at the end of it anyway. If you're lucky or careful or something, you can pick up an MGF like this for probably about 600, 700, 800. Pick one up that doesn't need any work on it, that's already got a new MOT, hasn't got a big dent down the side, etc. So, in all honesty, this is a stupid idea. And with the amount of work I have already on here, that makes it even more stupid, because it just doesn't make sense, does it? But this particular car, it's just some of the moments I had with this where, in particular, I accepted well and truly my middle-age status rather than trying to deny it. I thought, this is my midlife crisis, and I thought, yeah, okay, that's a good thing. Let's just go along with that and enjoy it. And I did. And that probably wouldn't have happened without this car. I feel like I owe the car something.